You ever walk into a room, or in this case a hotel, and immediately feel like you don't belong there? That was me standing in the lobby of the Grand Oak Hotel, clutching my reservation confirmation like it was a life raft. I mean, I had gotten pretty used to swanky places as a black CEO of a growing hospitality empire, but something about that night felt off. It was like walking into a party where you weren't invited despite being on the guest list. So let's rewind for a second. I had just wrapped up a major business deal, the kind that made my company, Walker Hospitality, shine a little brighter. To celebrate, I decided I'd treat myself, and guess what? I booked the VIP suite at the Grand Oak. Sounded fabulous, right? I pictured the luxurious decor, the crisp sheets, and that killer view of the skyline. So there I was, feeling like I was on top of the world, strutting into the lobby, ready to revel in my success when everything quickly turned, well, sideways. As soon as I reached the front desk, this frosty reception greeted me. I mean, it felt like I had just walked into a freezer with a smile. The receptionist barely glanced at my reservation, tapping away at her computer. And when she finally looked up, it was with that "you don't belong here" stare. If you've ever felt the heat of someone's judgment, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And then came the kicker. She told me that my VIP suite had been canceled. Canceled, I blinked, processing what I had just heard, each syllable sinking in deeper than the last. Canceled. But I have a reservation. I shot back maybe a little too aggressively, but hey, I was fighting for my right to be there. She shrugged, a sort of, "it is what it is" attitude, like a shrug would somehow make this all okay. A more suitable guest arrived, she replied, like she was doing me a favor. My brows furrowed. I felt my pulse quicken as the hotel manager stepped in, clad in an oversized blazer, defending her abrupt decision, citing something about suitable guests. I wanted to scream. It felt like high school all over again when I'd watched from the sidelines as peers got picked for teams while I was left with the scraps. But I took a deep breath. Instead of reacting in anger, I decided to channel my frustration into clarity. A more suitable guest. "You mean a white guest?" I whispered fiercely, my heart racing in my chest. At that moment, I was struck by a wave of memories from my past, mopping floors, in hotels, serving tables, enduring the unfathomable looks that said, "you're not like us." I had worked in this industry long enough to know what discrimination looks like, and I was determined to ensure fair treatment for everyone. Here I was, just a few years removed from that life, now running 39 hotels myself. But the universe had other plans for me that night. Just as I was about to insist on my rightful VIP suite, I noticed him walk through the lobby. Mr. Wilkins, a white gentleman, being ushered to the elite lounge like he was royalty. The moment pushed me over the edge. I marched up to the desk, didn't care how many eyes were on me, demanding a refund for the standard room they tried to shove me into. "You know I'm not going to let this slide," I said sharply. I could almost taste the anxiety bubbling beneath the surface. As the hotel security moved closer, I felt the intensity rise, but I held my ground. "Is this the kind of hospitality you showcase?" Reluctantly, I took the standard room. Yet my resolve had never been clearer. As I rolled my suitcase down the dingy corridor, I grimaced at the faded wallpaper and the lingering smell of stale air. The thought of justice, or rather my version of it, began to solidify in my mind. That night, as I lay in that subpar room, I was flooded with emotions. I thought about my journey, the countless nights spent scrubbing floors just to make it feeling invisible along the way. I remembered the sympathetic concierge, Jasmine. She'd always treated guests fairly, never letting the prejudices of the industry overshadow her kindness. So I made a decision I would do more than just vent frustration. I was going to confront this head on. I reached out to my board and legal team, laying out an action plan. They arrived the next day, unwavering in their support, as we marched down to the lobby together. As I stood there in front of the staff and guests, it felt surreal to finally announce my ownership of the Grand Oak Hotel. "You may not have seen me as worthy last night, but I'm here not just for me, I'm here for everyone who's faced this," before I stated, loud and clear, determination resonating in my voice. With every word, I dismantled that wall of discrimination, one brick at a time. The fallout was immediate. Those staff members who played a role in the discrimination were let go. And Jasmine, oh, she finally got the recognition she deserved. The hotel shut down for weeks for extensive renovations, focused on inclusivity and better training for all employees. Fast forward 6 months, and things were looking up. The hotel had transformed, complaints dwindled, and Jasmine had even been promoted. It was a victory for everyone, and the pride I felt was tangible. So here I am sharing my story with you, inviting you to think back on your own experiences when you felt judged, overlooked, or simply cast aside. Let's start a conversation about social bias and discrimination in our lives today. What does justice look like to you? Have you witnessed or experienced something similar? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories, because if we can learn from one another, we might just build a better future. So let's keep the dialogue alive.